when you're playing a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, you have to understand situation and you have to understand circumstance. That's one thing outside of having arguably the best player of all time in Patrick Mahomes and having one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in football. That's one thing that the Kansas City Chiefs have done perfectly this year. They've understood situation, and they've understood circumstance in every game that they've played. Some games were easier than others, but they understood the moment. They understood that our circumstances are different than everyone else's because of the resources that we have that other people don't. Other teams do not have Patrick Mahomes. Other teams don't have Chris Jones. Other teams don't have Andy Reid or Spags. We have the circumstances that can help us in situations that it may not be able to help other people. Well, in Monday Night Football, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers found themselves in a situation that could have drastically changed not just the game, but the outcome of the game. Before we talk about the game a little bit, let's talk about the circumstances and the situations that the Buccaneers have been dealt with. The Buccaneers have been a much better team than I thought they would be this year, especially when you see the injuries that they've sustained, whether we talk about to Mike Evans, whether we talk about the season-ending injuries to Chris Godwin. Baker Mayfield, I think, has been much better. In fact, the question, I talked about this last episode, the question with Baker Mayfield was, is he going to be able to replicate what happened last year? Or was last year considered a quote-unquote fluke? Was it considered a quote-unquote miracle season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Baker Mayfield has been incredible. He's had his moments, his Baker moments, but essentially he is the main reason why this team is or looked as good as looked this year. While yes, as of right now they have a record under 500. A lot of that is due to the circumstance that they've been dealt with. It's very hard when you lose your top wide receiver, let alone your top two wide receivers. And you have a lot of aging pieces that have been in and out the lineup in the defense, but the defense is still good for the Buccaneers. But that brings us back to Monday Night Football. Ryan Clark said it, and I agree wholeheartedly. The Kansas City Chiefs, not only do they not feel unbeatable, but when you look at how the games have gone, and you look at how this season has gone, it is a testament to how this team is 8-0. It's a testament to how this team has been able to essentially squeak out games. Usually when you get to this point and you play teams like the Buccaneers, you play teams like the Baltimore Ravens, your record should not reflect or should not, I'll say it like this. You are what your record is, but the Chiefs being 8-0 does not reflect how this season has essentially gone. What it should reflect is the Kansas City Chiefs have taken advantage of the situations and the moments at hand. Monday Night Football, we don't even need to talk about the entire game. We need to talk about essentially the last possession that the Buccaneers had. The second to last, because the last one didn't really count. It was about 20 seconds left or whatever. But the last scoring drive that the Bucs had, you go down and you You score a touchdown with like 27 seconds left of the game. Situation and circumstance. You can either A, kick a field goal or kick an extra point, which ties the game, which you hope that obviously, which we've seen, but you hope that the Kansas City Chiefs don't go down in 27 seconds and get into scoring range or get into field goal range, and you essentially dictate the fate of your team in overtime. Or you can go for two, and you have the lead. So now that puts all the pressure on the Kansas City Chiefs for 27 seconds. Now, I'm not saying that they couldn't do it, but the situation, the feeling is different. And that is kind of the overarching theme of this portion. The Buccaneers elected to kick the extra point, go into overtime, lose the coin toss, which if you want to know exactly it's funny. Baker Mayfield knew the fate of the team when they lost the coin toss, and he just looked up like, Jesus, man. And then the Chiefs essentially don't give the Buccaneers the ball back, and they score, winning the game. All of that overtime could have been avoided if they would have possibly went for two, got two, because they had momentum at that time, and just held on for 27 seconds. What I mean by you have to understand situation is this. The Kansas City Chiefs is a situation. Let me explain what I'm talking about. You're going up against arguably the best player in football. You're going up against a team that to this point has not lost a game. You're going against a team that has shown through this game. Let's just talk. Through this game, they've shown that they can score when they need to. Even though the Bucs did a good job majority of the night. And you're going against a team that has shown that if they make it to overtime, 9 times out of 10 they're going to win, especially if they get the ball first. This win is a credit because I don't know if I've said it, but the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Buccaneers 30-24 in overtime. This win is a credit to the Kansas City Chiefs and their resolve and their understanding of who their team is. And it's also a reflection of the Buccaneers not understanding I'm not going to say not understanding situation, but not being as aggressive as they should be in situations. Because here's the thing. Whether they would have lost in overtime or lost because they went for two and didn't get it, they would have lost. The outcome would have still been the same. And this is one of those rare times where I don't feel people would have really killed Todd Bowles or the Bucs if they would have went for it for two, because they understand who they're playing. They understand the situation on the other side of the ball. You're going against the the back-to-back defending champions. I'm not saying anybody should, I'm not saying there should be any jobs that should be lost or whatever. What I'm saying is, we never know what could have happened or what would have happened if you went for it. He could have got it, could have not. They may have held the Chiefs. Who knows? But I will say this. In a game that saw DeAndre Hopkins pretty much emerge as the number one receiver had like 86 yards, 2 touchdowns. In a game that saw Kareem Hunt had 27 carries for 106 yards and the game-winning touchdown. In a game that had Travis Kelce have his first game of the season go over 100 yards. In a game where Patrick Mahomes throws 3 touchdowns. The fate of this game was decided by a team in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't want to say be scared, but I want to say not take hold of the situation at hand and not be aggressive. And now you have one team in the Buccaneers that is 4-5, under 500. And the Kansas City Chiefs are 8-0. And I'm not going to say a fraudulent 8-0 because you are what your record is. I'm not going to disrespect them, but they don't feel unbeatable. They just have not been beaten. That is a testament to the Chiefs. So shouts out to the Chiefs for beating the Buccaneers 30-24 in overtime. Oh man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.